Alright folks, welcome back to Torpedoes and Tarantulas. This is Jeff here. Sorry I haven't done much content lately. There's just not been a lot going on. I've got a lot of teas that are feeding, but they're not feeding on camera. I attempted a feeding video last week. It did not work out, so I abandoned the entire process. Excuse me. And then between that, I've been very busy with working and everything. It's tax season, trying to get that taken care of, get those taxes paid so I can get that weight off my mind. And so I haven't had much time to devote to you guys and to my animals, but I decided I would attempt to do another feeding tonight. And I'm going to do it in reverse order of how I usually do it. You know, I usually start with my smallest slings and then work my way up to my biggest spiders. I tried that last week. A few of the smallest slings did some good takedowns, and then everyone else after that didn't take down until later on, and it was just way too much video. I couldn't put it all together and show you guys, so I just thought I would start with the biggest ones so that if they turn out crappy, I can just cut those off and then show you some of the takedowns that I have at the end. Without any more delay, though, we're going to introduce you guys to Augie. Most of you already know who this is. This is my mature male Chromatopelma pubescens. He has not eaten in probably 3 weeks. He's not been much of an eater. I've tried several times on camera to feed him, and I've tried several times besides that to feed him without much success. And the one time I did offer him food since he matured out in December, he took it without hesitation off the tongs, and of course he wasn't videoing. So I'm just going to give you guys a view of him grooming real quick. And if you're paying attention, you can see his hooks, and you'll see his bulbous pedipalps. I'm going to give you guys a second to look at him, and I'm going to try to get this roach here, and we're going to try to offer him some food and see if he won't eat for us on camera. Fingers crossed. Tell you what, these adult female lateralis are really hard to get a hold of. Okay guys, so I had to use the freezer for about a minute and a half to sedate the prey because it was so lively it was hard to catch, but I'm going to go ahead and offer it to Augie and see what he does. He's quite stirred up with all the commotion going on in his enclosure. I don't expect much out of him because I have not gotten him to do a takedown on camera in at least 3 months. He has not given me one since, of course, he matured out. And so it's been a long time since we've seen my boy Augie eat. He's just given a lot of the same responses that he usually does. I don't really want to turn loose of this roach because I don't think he'll grab it. But at the same time, this roach cannot burrow and pupate, so I may just throw it in there and leave it. And this was kind of the beginning that I expected. He's, of course, a mature male, so he's not near as interested in food as what he used to be. He's more interested in finding love. So guys, ladies, guys with ladies, GBB ladies, here's an available male if you're interested. He will probably eat that roach later on, but let's move on to the next one, which we probably will not see feed. Alright guys, now this tarantula definitely needs no introduction. And if you take a little bit of a look at her, she's already taken a bit of a defensive stance. So let's put a roach in her face, and let's see what this old girl can do for us. We know here lately she's been a crazy bitch. She's continuing to be a crazy bitch, and that's why I love her, and she's gorgeous. Again, cannot say enough about the Harpactira pulchripes. If you do not have one, you have to have one in your collection. This video is proof positive of that right here, right now. Again, I'm hoping that my sling will be a male and I can breed these, because I see a future investment in this beautiful girl right here. Again, another shout out to Tom Moran, who turned me on to this species. If you don't know who the hell he is, you're just starting in YouTube. He convinced me that I needed one of these, and I bought one, rolled the dice, got lucky, and she turned out female. Her name is Phoebe, if you don't know that. And now I have another one that I got as a freebie. not to be confused with Phoebe, and I'm hoping it's a male. Future breeding project, we hope, guys, fingers crossed. Let's move on to another one. Alright guys, here's another tarantula I don't expect much out of, although I do know it will eat for me later on. It may not eat on camera. I've only gotten it to do a takedown once on camera, but I'll give you a brief look at it the best I can. This is my Epocrates Metallica, the Goody Sapphire Sling. And you can see the adult colorations coming in with the greens and the blues, those warning colors on the bottoms of the feet. If I could get you a shot of the dorsal side, you could see some of those markings coming in. And you can't see them right now because of the webbing and everything, but the yellow stripes are starting to emerge on the underside of the legs. So this thing is turning into a typical Epocrates beautifully. I don't expect much out of this thing, but I'm going to get a roach, offer it up, and see what happens. Alright, and here we go. Now, as I mentioned, and there it went darting, my Pete Metallica has only given me one takedown on camera. I can say this for anyone who maybe has not had a post-Lassiadora Metallica sling yet. At least with mine, it's very skittish. Very skittish, so we don't get much good footage out of it, but I kind of expected that. Here's the best I can do. I know it will eat that roach later on because it always does. Sorry, that was the best look that we could get. Let's move on to another one. Alright, so here we are getting down into the slings. This was one of my dream tarantulas for a while. This is my only dwarf species. I don't know if we can get footage of it or not. I know I tried the other day and it just didn't work out very well. And that was part of the video that I just abandoned. This guy is skittish quite a lot of times, but none more so, it seems like, than when it comes to feeding time. But there's a lot of other times when it's out and you can see it. And of course you can see there's a foot right down there at the entrance of that webbing. I don't expect much unless this mealworm moves more than it is right now. Okay guys, so it's been a couple of minutes. I'm trying to stimulate the web, simulate this beautiful creature to come out and feed for us, and there it is, guys. Again, this is my Dolichothele diamantinensis, the Brazilian blue dwarf beauty, and it is a beautiful tarantula. Look at the colors on that thing, guys. Those metallic sheens. That's why I love this tarantula. I'm not going to do any more poking because I don't want it to strike the toothpick, but as soon as that worm moves, it's becoming a meal. That's our best look yet so far, guys. So let's move on to another one. By the way, I told you my P Metallica always eats off camera. There you can see it has the roach in its jaws. Basically has it folded in half. You can see those green toes. Some of the blue. And if I could get the light angle right, you could see some of the colors on those toes. And you can kind of see some of those yellows starting to emerge. So, really excited to see this spider develop. Fingers crossed it's a female. Told you they feed off camera most of the time. Alright, and so up next is a fairly new sling that I have not gotten to feed on camera yet. It did feed for me last week after a molt from like 2 weeks ago. This is the only very large tarantula species that I have. The only one I'm interested in right now. Let's offer it a mealworm and see what happens. This is the Lassiadora Kluge, which I am very interested in. And of course, it has taken its worm and disappeared. We might get lucky for a happy dance, but probably not. As I mentioned, this is the only large species that I have. absolutely not interested in the LP because they're a dime a dozen. And I'm not interested in many of the other large tarantula species because basically, let's face it, I like the pretty tarantulas. That's why I like the Lassiadora, because it's that fine balance of pretty and large. So, looking forward to seeing this thing grow and develop. Let's go find another hungry tarantula. Okay, guys, so just heads up, this is going to turn into a part two, so I'm going to go ahead and probably go out without much action and start the second part with some exciting takedowns. But this one right here is the second of my sexed females. This is my second most valuable tarantula. This is Ruby, my female Brachypelma auratum. She hasn't been much of an eater lately, but let's offer her a mealworm and see what she does. She has not been very feedy, if you will, in the last couple of weeks. And you can see she is basically kind of backing away or taking a defensive posture on the meal. And I'm rubbing her fangs with the worm, and she is not eating. It may mean she's in a pre-molt, or it may mean that she's fasting, because unfortunately that is one of the troublesome things about Brachypelma genus. Not only do they grow slow, but they tend to fast, so they're not always the most prolific with giving you takedown videos, but when they do, it's spectacular. Even if they do a gentle takedown, they're so beautiful, it more than makes up for it. That was the first part of this video. Be looking for the second part to be uploaded here very soon. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up and a comment. If you haven't subscribed or shared this video, please feel free to do that. And don't forget, guys, take care of yourselves and each other. Hope you have a great day. God bless.